we will be finding the foot triangle. The foot triangle is the bone under the big toe, under the little toe, and the supports under the heel. We need to apply pressure evenly on all 3 points. To start working, we place our feet at hip width apart. I remind you, it's as if we have a third leg in the middle, and makoshka, we stretch up, making ourselves look nice. After that, we roll the weight onto the front part of the foot and onto the heel. First, we are just looking for the front arch. And the heel, all right, pause when most of your weight is shifted to the front part of the foot. And try to clearly find the support under the big toe and the support under the little toe. Under the big toe and under the little toe, just roll the foot inwards and outwards. If you can't find the support under the little toe, you can lift your heels off the floor and press even harder on this part. Feet, just feel the bone under the little toe. All right. After that, we roll again to the base of the big toes and the little toes and find the middle position. And we also press down on the heels. So right now we are trying to distribute the weight evenly, 30% on each toe. After that, we hold the support under the little toe, under the big toe, and under the heel, and lift all the toes off the floor. It doesn't matter how you're doing it. Your task now is to maintain the support under the little toe while lifting all the other toes up. And a few more times. If you don't feel the bone under the little toe, again, press down on it a little harder so that it becomes more noticeable in your mind, so you can feel it and work with it. After that, we will lift all the toes up and try to lift the heel. Soon. Don't try to lift too high. It might not work out the first time, and you may lose your balance a little. Lift your heel slightly and keep the support under the big toe and under the little toe. All right? Place your fingers on the floor, lower them down, find all 3 points of support, and distribute your weight evenly between them. For the next exercise, we will need a ball and something instead of it. We'll place it between the shins. You might need to place your feet a little closer together. We find 3 points of support and lift our toes off the floor in such a way that the ball doesn't fall out. And at the same time, we try to keep the support under the little toe. Don't try to go too high at first. Start with a small range of motion. If you manage to do it, lift higher and higher each time. 2 more times. 1 last time. All right, let's remove the ball. We place the pole at the width of the hip joints. Whatever is comfortable for you. We can take a few steps to relieve the pressure from the toes and the foot. And once again, we find the 3 points, supports. Just a reminder, these are the little bones. The big toe, the base of the little toe, and the heel. Imagine that your foot has nothing right now, just the points of support. Relax all the unnecessary muscles. Relax your thighs, your toes, the pole, and let makoshka stretch upwards. Try to maintain the same position in life. Avoid positions like this, where you're standing on one leg and your foot is rolled inwards or outwards, hanging on the ligaments of the hip joint. Try not to over-control your life. The session called MFR is done using a large ball. MFR stands for myofascial release. Myo refers to muscle, and fascia is connective tissue. With these exercises, we hydrate the connective tissue and increase mobility. Try not to hurt yourself. On the pain scale, a 5 is enough, not a 10. More than that isn't necessary because pain receptors will block sensitivity receptors. We'll start by placing the ball, half listening of the big toe. So that's where our pressure point is. And we will be doing movements like this. Bend the knee and press the base of the toe into the ball. We'll do each exercise about 7 times. When you're working on your own for a long time, you can do this more. The knee is working, bending. We're pressing the ball with the base of the big toe. Next, we also place the ball under the base. The second toe under the arch of the foot. And we work with the knee. Press down on the ball 5 to 7 times. Great. After that, we place the ball under our second pressure point, support, under the base of the little toe. And we do the same movement. Place the ball under the base of the little toe, bend your knees, and press down on the ball. We feel the ball penetrating our skin deeper and deeper. I remind you, there shouldn't be any painful sensations. There may be slight discomfort, but no more than that. Great. After that, we roll the ball under, with the arch of the foot from right to left. It's like we're moving the ball with our eyes from one point. Support, from the base of the big toe to the base of the little toe. Next, we continue rolling the ball. From right to left, and in the same zigzag pattern, we move towards the heel. From right to left, and we gradually move. And we place the ball under the base of the heel. The base of the heel is this point where the heel begins. We place the base of the heel on the ball, and it depends on your desire. If you don't feel any discomfort, you can shift most of your weight onto the ball. Try to place the base of your toes on the floor, and in this position, we will stand for about 30 seconds. I remind you, there shouldn't be any pain. If you want to increase the load, shift most of your weight onto the front foot. After that, we lift the ball a little higher, placing it in the center of the foot and leaving it there. You can use whatever range of motion you like. If you have a small ball, you might be able to place the base of your heel or the base of your toes on top of it. Do the exercise in a way that feels good for you. After that, we do a very important exercise. We, as if we're sinking the ball into the base of the big toe, press down and roll the ball all the way to the heel. Also, we roll the ball from the second toe towards the heel. From the third toe, we kind of smooth out the sole starting from the heel. From the fourth toe to the heel, and finally from the little toe. It's very important not to miss this. From the little toe, 5. After that, we place the ball. Here is the width, here are the feet, meaning this point. Where the foot gathers at that little corner, you need to bend the knee and all the toes. Lower it down and lift it up as if you're trying to grab the ball with your finger 3 more times. Twice. Last one. Great. After that, we relax the leg, move the ball aside, stand on both feet, and feel how our feet are in contact with the floor. For example, the left foot. I feel much better than the right one. Imagine in percentages, for example, the left foot at 95%, the right at 80%. Remember these numbers as we will compare them later. Next, what we do is rise up on our toes and then lower back down. Imagine that you're not just rising up on your toes, but you're pushing the floor down with your fingers. Feel which leg the movement is easier on. Do you have that feeling that on the leg you worked with, you can lift it as if you're going higher? Great. One last time, we lift up. All right. We keep our legs in the same position and do the exercise mouth de langue. We stretch up through the crown of our head, inhale, tighten the glutes, and lower the chin. And vertebra by vertebra. We lower one leg down, and we check which foot makes the movement easier for us. Which side did your hand touch the floor first? We take a breath in, and on the exhale, we rise up. Stretch up to the ceiling and switch to the other leg. We start by placing the ball under the base of the big toe, just like we did with the other leg. You can place your hands wherever it's comfortable for you, bend both knees, and press down on the ball, with the base of the big toe merging with this knee. Let's do 5 more. 4, 3, just a reminder, it shouldn't be painful. A little painful, it might hurt, no. Last time. All right. After that, we roll the ball under the base of the big toe, so it will be positioned roughly in the middle of the transverse arch of the foot, and we make the same movement. It's important that we're not just working with the foot, but also with the knee and the stance, so don't ignore these movements. The knee is involved everywhere. Great. And we roll the ball under the base of the little toe, and we work exactly the same way. Bend the knee, the ball is under the base of the little toe, under our support point. And we bend the knee, pressing the ball into the corner. All right. After that, we slightly bend the knee and start rolling the ball under the base of the foot, from right to left, under the base of the big toe, under the base of the little toe, and we roll the ball in a zigzag motion towards the heel. So from right to left, and we added the zigzag. You'll need to shift your supporting leg a bit. That's normal. In the end, we place the ball at the base of the heel. We place the base of the toes on the floor and gently press down on one leg under which the ball is positioned so that you feel comfortable. If you want to apply more pressure, you can fully transfer your weight. If you have a massage ball, it will withstand this pressure. If it's a tennis ball, then of course it will burst, and you'll have to run to the store and buy the massage ball that I asked for. All right? After that, we roll the ball under the middle of the arch of the foot. Under the middle of the arch of the foot. And we also immerse ourselves, feeling how our foot relaxes, spreads out as if it wants to hug the ball. The muscles are relaxing. It shouldn't hurt, just feel nice. After that, we roll the entire arch of the foot, pressing the ball into the base of the big toe, applying pressure, and rolling it towards the heel. From the second toe, we press the base of the big toe into the ball and roll it towards the heel. From the third, fourth, and definitely from the little toe. All right? Next, we place the ball under the middle of the transverse arch of the foot and play with our fingers. It's like we're trying to grab the ball and spread our toes up. Grab the ball this again and spread your toes up. If the knee is slightly outlined, you can also add some movement in the knees. You can just leave it slightly soft. And one more time. All right. Let's put the ball away. And now we compare the 2 feet. Let's start by lifting ourselves up a few times on the balls of our feet. Imagine that instead of rising up, we are pushing the floor down. And let's feel if the position of the feet has evened out. Before, if one foot was going up more, it was easier for it. What is the situation now? If there is still asymmetry, that's not a big deal. We are all asymmetrical. That happens. All right, place your feet on the floor at hip width apart. And feel the triangle of your foot. And feel how your feet are touching the floor. How good, pleasant, easy, and warm it feels for them. Have a fun out session. We will learn to control our toes. Sit comfortably. You can lean against the wall to avoid feeling overloaded in your shoulders and lower back. Relax, take any comfortable position. And we start working with our toes. We are all bending and straightening our toes, bending and straightening. So far, it's all simple, but keep an eye on making sure each toe is doing its job, so there are no slackers. If you're having trouble with this, straighten the leg that isn't working. Or you can do both at the same time and help yourself with your hands. Start with a massage first, bending and straightening. Then try to work against resistance and help the non-working toe to complete its movement. All right, let's move on. We've worked with the toes, now let's work on the calves. We are bending and straightening the entire calf. In doing so, try to keep the toes as neutral as possible in the movement, as little as possible while working, so the toes are neutral in the movement of the calf. Separate these muscles from each other. That's why we work with our toes, so that later we can control all the muscles, so that everyone is active and those that are already overloaded don't get even more strained. All right, now let's bend the calf and bend the toes. And on the contrary, the calf down, the toes down. The shin is in itself, the fingers are in itself. Calf down, toes down. A few more times. All right. The last one. And the next task, gather your fingers into a fist. You lowered them down. Now try not to lift the pain, but keep your toes contracted. And we lower it down. I have some people whose legs start to cramp during these exercises. That's normal. Please, just don't bring it to your attention. If you suddenly get a cramp, sit down, stretch out the muscle that cramped, and keep working. The next exercise is called wave. We bring our legs in, toes down, change the position of the toes, and lower the foot. We change the position of the toes, lift the foot. Up, down, toes down, calf up. All right. And one last time. All right. The next exercise is for mobility. In the left ankle, meaning we won't be working with the toes, but with the ankle. Imagine that there are eyes on your feet, and the feet decided to look at each other. And then the feet turned away from each other, looked again, and turned away. Try to relax your fingers as much as possible. They will, of course, start engaging and trying to help you, but that's not necessary. All right. Now let's do the same movement. Just circular. Feet towards you, to the sides, forward, inward. Inward, forward, to the side, up. Of course, you'll be working on that and the hip joint too. That's not bad, but try to focus on getting the movement specifically in the lower part. If you can't separate the muscles, you can actually take your hands and feel what's happening with your foot. If there's any movement there, or if everything, the movement behind the foot is done by the hip joint. All right, the next thing we're going to do. The legs looked at each other, and now we wrap one leg to the side and switch places. One looks inward and one looks outward. One inward, one outward. All right, 2 more times. All right, now let's combine what we've learned earlier. We lower the foot inward, down, inward, toes down. And on the contrary, the foot outward, toes outward, and we turn the foot to the side. Foot down, toes inward, inward, outward, toes outward. And one more time. We gathered the toes, the feet, and wrapped them up. 1 feet up, toes, feet to the side. Last time. All right. Relax your legs. Bend your legs and place them in front of you. And let's do the next exercise. It's called crawling. We need to lift our legs, lift our toes. Let's lower the toes to the floor. And it's like we want to pull the mat towards ourselves. Mat is on floor. Lift legs. Toes down, and we pull the mat under ourselves. So it turns out that the columns are really crawling forward. The special name for crawling exercises is very beneficial for children. All right, one more time. Great. And the last exercise we'll do today is rolling the fingers. We need to spread all the fingers as far apart from each other as possible, and then bring them together. One more time. To the sides, and bring them together. If they don't want to bend, you bend down, sit closer to their legs, and you help them with your hands. So we spread all the fingers to the sides, just laying them out with our hand. You can work with one hand, or you can use both at the same time. There we go, and relax. One more time. All the fingers help themselves, spreading out to the sides. We placed it in this position and relaxed. All right, one more time. Up to the sides and relax. All right, and we're going to do one more exercise that focuses on finger control. We need to work separately with the thumb, separately with all 4. So we lift ourselves up, only the thumb, while we stretch the 4 fingers forward and switch places. Thumb down, 4 up. Thumb up, 4 down, 4 up, a few more times. Last. All right, if you weren't able to get the colors, you sit down and do it with your hands. For example, you manage to lift your fingers up well, but you can't lower one of them down. Then you specifically hold one finger on your forehead while the other 4 go down, trying to keep it steady. In this position, the last 2 fingers go down. Or on the contrary, everyone lift it up 4. We hold it big, try to press down, try to hold this position and lower 4. Or on the contrary, 4. We hold just the big toe, trying to lift it up, using our hands to raise it. You can really feel it, to sense that it's holding the muscles properly. It turned on somehow. And we lift 4. Or on the contrary, 4. Lift up, keeping the big toe on the floor. And we try, keep the big toe on the floor, as if you're pressing it down, and the big toe follows. Do the same with the other foot. This is an important exercise. If you can't do it, you won't be able to move on to the next one. The session is for working with kids. You need to ask the child to jump into your sight. You don't put your finger in your hands, but rather on the child's toe and press down gently. The child should observe which toe it is. You also do this with all the other toes. You need to touch confidently. If you just lightly touch, they won't feel it. And This develops the child's neuromuscular connection between the brain and the toes, so it will be easier for them to control their little toes later without overlapping. It will be easiest for the child to feel the first and fifth toes. It will be harder with the middle one. If the child doesn't feel the middle toe at all or doesn't understand where it is, start by pointing to it on the right foot in front of them, going through all the toes. Make sure to do all the toes on both feet every time. You can play this game with the whole family and compete to see who can do it better at the tip of their toes. What else can you do with the child? You leave him any leg and then take the other leg for him. For example, you bend and straighten your big toe on your foot, and the child should understand which toe it is, wiggle it on their foot, and do the same thing on their own foot. Bends and straightens. Then, for example, you take another finger, bend it, straighten it. The child needs to understand which toe it is and make the same movement on their own foot. First of all, this develops a harmful nerve connection, and secondly, it just painfully keeps pushing you into a fight, a whole communication, and causing harm. These profitable robots are available in K-Ceramanides simulating investments. Next, our session is about self-myofascial release with a small ball. To start the session, we'll place the ball under the base of the toes and roll the foot from right to left so that the ball moves under the base of the toes. We did the same exercise with a larger ball. It's similar. Next, we place the ball under our fingers and roll the ball from right to left so that it goes under each little toe. The next variation of this exercise is to place the ball under the polleus. So, we find the base of the toes, roll down about 1 to 2 centimeters. Press down with the foot and the bent knee and roll from right to left. So, right along this part of the foot, from right to left, and 3 more, twice, one last time. All right? After that, we'll place the ball right in the center of the foot. We'll place it right where we have the highest point of the arch, and we'll press down a bit with our weight on top using the small ball. The sensitivity is a bit higher, so it might hurt a little more, and that's normal. And we kind of twist the foot into the ball by bending the knee as if we're screwing the leg into the ball. If it's too painful for you, you can just do a constant treatment to do what movements make 4 to 5 circles in one direction and 4 to 5 circles in the other direction. All right. After that, we'll place the ball under the base of the big toe, and we'll roll forward by 1 to 2 feet. And we'll place the foot on the ball on top. This is quite a painful spot. Again, you can just stand there lightly, and you can add some movement. It's a kind of rolling. The knee goes in a circle, and we kind of screw the ball in deeper and deeper into the tissues. Change direction. We also do it the other way. The ball is under the base of the big toe and 1 to 2 centimeters lower. Don't step too hard. It's a very sensitive spot. All right. After that, we place the ball right under the big toe. Right under the big toe, and we place the others further away. We're just being lazy, leaning down and moving the other toes away. And we try to lift the heel up. I'm placing the ball under the big toe and I'm trying to lift the heel up. If it's easy for me, I add a little weight to the working leg, about 30%, and I lift up with the weight. All right. We do the same with the second toe. We place the second toe on the ball, and the others are spread further away from it. If you liked it yourself, you don't have to lower down. If they don't want to lie far apart from each other, then we lower down and adjust the mouth. And after that, we also lift up. If everything is good, we add a little weight to the working leg and lift up with our body weight. About 30% on the working moment. Great. We move the ball under the third toe, and we do the same thing. Under the third toe and the others further away. If the exercise is hard, just place your toe down and stand still. If possible, lift the heel. This exercise helps us get rid of sticky toes. We had weight 3 lifts. So who constantly wears dull shoes? Do you have very sticky toes? You are having trouble doing the toe exercises. You are using this exercise as like a magic wand that will help you move forward. Strength exercises where you need to work your toes individually. I placed it under the fourth toe. If I'm allowed, I lift my heel. If it works out, I very slowly and carefully lift my heel along with my weight, very gently. All right. We do the same with the rubber band. We place the rubber band on the ball. Let's move it further away. The others, hold it. And if it works out, we lift our heel. And we lift the heel together with body weight. It jumps out, runs away. That can happen. Is it going to be hard for someone? Basically, put the ball under your toe. Nothing. Great. All right, let's move on to the other leg. If anyone wants, you can compare the sensitivity between the two legs, how it has changed. I'm placing the ball under the base of the big toe on the second leg and starting to roll the ball from right to left. It's like I'm rubbing the ball with you from the top, from right to left. Then I move the ball under the toes and roll it from right to left. These exercises are no longer perceived as just a massage, but as a way to improve proprioception, that is, the neuromuscular connection. This way, it will be much easier for your brain to find it. Some small muscles that are in the legs. Then we roll the ball under the metatarsals. So we found the base of the toe, rolled down about 1-2 centimeters. That is under this part of the foot, like the first third, and we roll under them. If you happen to find any particularly painful spots, you can just press on them and hold for about 10-30 seconds. All right. Next, we roll our ball under the middle of the foot, that is, where the highest point is, right here in the arch. We place the ball there and press down from the top as much as possible. If possible, if it's not too much, we start making circular movements with the knee, so that the foot seems to be twisting into our ball. And in the other direction, similarly, the foot twists into the ball, making circular movements with the knee. And one last time. All right. After that, we place the ball under the base of the big toe and slide down about 1 to 2 centimeters. There will be a very uncomfortable spot. You'll feel it right away. Stay on it. You can just stand, but if you can handle it, if it doesn't hurt too much, add circular movements with the knee. And it's like we're twisting these feet into the ball with that spot. And in the other side, 4, 3, 2, one last time. All right. The next exercise is for stuck toes. For those who can't manage their toes or who have their toes constantly stuck together, we place the big toe on the ball, and if we can, we lift the toes off the floor. 3, 2, 5. If you can, let's shift a little more weight onto the working leg. Let's do 3 lifts. 3. About 30% of the weight on the front leg. 5. All right. Next, I place the ball under the second toe. The other little toes. I spread them out further from him. And I repeat the same exercise. Heel raise. And lift the heel up along with the weight. 3. 1. 1. All right. I'm placing the ball under the third toe, not being lazy. I lower myself down, spreading the other toes wider apart, and the ability to lift the heel up. After that, the same heel lift, but using body weight. 1. All right. The penultimate toe is 4. Then the activity is not very fun. It requires a little bit of discipline, but it is very useful. If you have no problems with finger mobility, they open quite wide. You can do it as an introductory exercise and not return to it again. But if you have problems controlling your toes, especially with strength exercises, then we'll have to do this more often, all right? And the last little toe. I place the ball under the fifth toe, and I lift the heel first. After which I lift the heel along with the body weight on the working leg. Great, good job. You all did well. First, with the ball, we'll place our feet hip-width apart, reach up with the crown of our head, and find the foot triangle. Let's rock more on the base of the toes and on the heel. Again, the base of the toes, the heel. We stay on the base of the toes, rocking between the base of the pinky toe and the base of the big toe. A few times we find the center and lower the heel. So we found the foot triangle that we'll be working with. Next, we lift all the toes off the floor, trying to maintain the foot triangle, meaning we don't lose our point of balance. Support under the pinky toe, and we lower the toes to the floor. A few more times we lift them up, we lower them. We lift, checking that all the toes are coming up, lowering them for the last time. All right, now keep your toes lifted up just like we raised them. Imagine that you need to spread all your toes apart from each other. Lower them to the floor so that the toes are touching each other on the ground and relax. One more time. Lift all the toes, spread them apart from each other, lower them to the floor so that they don't touch each other, and relax. Let's do it up for the third time. Sides, down. Relax for those who managed. You keep working like this. If someone is struggling, you can sit next to your leg. It helps if you use your hand, meaning you lift all the toes, and if any of them aren't coming up, you can help them with your hand. Spread your toes apart. Again, if they are stuck together, we help to spread them apart with our hands, lowering them to the floor so they are further away from each other. First, we hold them with our hands, then we let go and try to keep them in that position. When they are as separated as possible and we relax we lift up again, helping with our hands those that aren't coming up. You can lift them up and resist. Feel a little bit that all the toes are holding the effort. Spread them to the sides, helping yourself with your hands, lowering them wider apart from each other. We held this position without using our hands and relaxed. All right, let's move on. The next exercise, we found the triangle of the foot. The bone under the big toe, under the base of the little finger, and the heel are pressed down evenly. We try to lift only the thumb. So 4 toes are on the floor and only the big toe is lifted up. We lower it. We lift it up. We lower it. Again, guys, it's not working like that. You just sit down, work one leg at a time, help lift your toe. Who managed to do it? Let's move on. We'll keep the big toe on the floor and lift the 4 little toes up. Big toe on the floor, we lift and lower the 4 little toes. All right, one more time. Who managed to do it? You continue to work alternately. Sometimes with the big toe, sometimes with the 4 little ones, sometimes the big ones, sometimes all 4. Who couldn't do it? You also sit down next to your leg and start adjusting with your hands. For example, we managed to lift the toes up. After that, for example, we hold the big toe up while lowering the 4 little ones and then try to keep the big toe in that position. And the 4 little ones are lowered to the floor. If they don't want to lower, you can directly lower them to the floor with your hands and hold that position, trying to feel it. And then separately the big toe down, and vice versa. For example, we need to lift the weight of the big toe. We lift the 4 little toes, keep the big toe down, and try to teach it to press into the floor. Just imagine that you need to press the big toe into the floor. And now we hold 4 and catch up with the big toe. All right, again. Now let's try to lower just the big toe. To do this, you need to hold 4 toes, lower the big toe to the floor, maintain that position, release your hand, and lower the 4. In this way, you train your non-dominant connection, you show the brain this movement, and work with your hands. If you didn't succeed, practice these sets, because it will get harder and harder from here. It turned out well. We start by building up the foot. First, we lift the big toe, then the 4 big fa. And this exercise is called the piano. You can speed up a lot there. The faster, the better. Try to build up the smoke. All right. And the most difficult exercise is the wave. We try to lift the fingers one at a time. So we lifted the big toe first, then the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And in reverse order, big toe down, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. it won't be that perfect. So the main thing for us is to learn to work with the big toe and the little toe. And on the contrary, we lift the little toes. Fourth, fifth, first, we lower the little toes, the big toe. And this way you get these kinds of waves on one side and on the other side, but this is really the peak of mastery. To start with, you really need to learn to work with your big toe separately. With the four. The muscles that abduct and adduct the big toe. To start, we'll do a light warm-up. We'll take our big toe and season it, moving it up to the side, and then bringing it back in. Up to the side, and then bring it back in. We'll do that a few times. This massage technique is to help train the muscles to work. Remember, about the head, about the brotherhood. These muscles exist, and we will try to control them. All right. After that, we'll try to do the exercise right away. Let's try it on one foot. And if it doesn't work out, I'll explain what we do next. The exercise is simple. We need to abduct the big toe to the side and then bring it back. Abduct to the side, bring it back. First, it might be through lifting, abduction to the side, and adduction. Lift to the side, adduct. If all the other toes are moving, you need to block them, please. And we only move the big toe to the side, bring it back. To the side, bring it back. If it worked well, let's try to do it using only the big toe without involving the other toes. A whole millimeter of movement won't be much. That's fine. It's already good to just gradually increase the amplitude over time. If it worked out, do the same. Let's do it with the second foot. Warming up the big toe, making circular movements, stretching the muscles, well, good. And we try to do the same on the second foot. Abduct the big toe to the side, then bring it back. Abduct, bring it back. If it doesn't work, block the other toes with your hand and only move the big toe to the side, then bring it back. We only move the big toe to the side, then bring it back. Many people will find that the toe is heard well on one foot. It's better on the other one. That's okay. If it worked, then we will try to move both big toes to the side at the same time. Both big toes to the side. Brought it back. To the side, brought it back. As much as you can do, that's already good. If it really doesn't work at all, let's figure out what to do about it. Those who couldn't do this exercise, you take your big toe with your hand, specifically move it to the side, and as if you're resisting it, it wants to come back. But you don't let it. You bring the big toe back, and with your hand, you create resistance. You bring it back, and with your hand, you create resistance. There's also this option. Place 2 fingers between the first and second, and just resist with your big toe. As if you're going to fly out, bring it to the others. Then it works. Next, what we do, we try to move the big toe to the side and hold it in that position. And hold it. Hold it and hold it. You'll feel the muscle is right here. It activates right here, and you'll feel it here. I'll show you from a slightly different angle. I'm moving my big toe with my hands and trying to hold it in that position to feel which muscles are being activated. If we manage to hold the big toe to the side without using our hands, the next thing we do is start resisting it when it tries to move back. So it wants to move to the side, but you don't let it. You can press like this too. The finger is held, the body muscles aren't working. It will immediately go inward, and we need to try to resist it. The next thing we can do is move it to the side and try to push it inward, while the big toe doesn't resist. In this way, you resist the big toe when it's being moved to the side and brought back, and you practice this exercise. It's very important until you get it right. First of all, it prevents cholesterol, meaning it helps with the formation of the big toe bridge. Secondly, as we discussed, the muscle that abducts the big toe is involved in forming the arch of the foot. Guys, for those who manage to do it, I'm showing a more advanced version. We'll do the same thing while standing. We'll get up on our feet, placing our legs shoulder width apart. We'll shift to the left foot and also work with the big toes while standing. We lift the big toes and move the hand to the side. We bring it inward. We take it, move it to the side and bring it back. And a few more times. Abduct, adduct. All right. Try not to lose. The support under your little toe. Great. And one last time. All right. You did great. If you didn't succeed at all, don't be upset. Most people get it on the first try. It's just a workout, just like training other muscles. Just get up, use your hands to help yourself. Some will manage it in 30 seconds, while others will take a few workouts. You shouldn't give up. You just need to take it step by step, and it will get even better. Regarding what was mentioned above, specifically about the muscles of the affected area, to start, we'll place the ball under the Achilles tendon in the flagellation area. The Achilles tendon in the flagellation area, this is the thin line of tissue that connects to the heel. We place it right under the Achilles tendon in the flagellation area. Let's sit in a way that's comfortable for us. You could lean against the wall, and we start to flex and extend the foot. The ball shouldn't be in the way. The ball seems to penetrate deeper and deeper. Pay attention, if it hurts, you can wear socks higher up and avoid discomfort. All right, once more. Great. Next, what we do is we bend the knee and we place the ball right under the knee, inward. We place the ball in the shin, and while bending the knee, we passively move the heel towards the ice pack with our hands. Let's do 4 more of those. 3. So, one last time. All right, we place the foot, we start moving on the floor, as if you're stepping on a car's windshield wiper, one way and then the other, one way and then the other, while keeping the knee in place without rocking the hips, not moving the lower part specifically. What's below the knee? One more time. All right, next we put the ball under the calf, the edge is given by muscles too. We place our hands on the ground, lift the pelvis, and roll the ball all along the calf. Position the ball so that it's comfortable for you, allowing you to reach all parts of your calf. Roll it along both the inner and outer parts of the calf. Please note, if you have varicose veins of the 2nd degree or higher, you need to consult a doctor. It's dangerous to do these exercises with varicose veins. All right, place the ball where you feel the most discomfort. Most likely this is where the calf connects and transitions into. The next muscle is the thickest part and transitions into the thinner part. Or choose any other one. Leave the ball there and feel how it penetrates deep into your skin, into the deeper layers. And we start working with the calf. And also the calf. We bend it, we straighten it. More. All right. Leave the ball in the same spot and tilt the calf outward. And we make exactly the same movement. We bend it, we straighten it. All right. We left the ball in the same spot, calf inward. If you lose your balance, you can hold on to your leg with your hand. We bend, we straighten. 2 more. All right. Great. Let's move to the other leg and do the same set of exercises. First, we place the ball under the Achilles tendon right above the heel. Let's sit comfortably. You can lean against the wall. We flex and extend the foot at the ankle joints. All right. After that, we take the ball and place it right under the knee. With your hand, wrap around the calf and press down until you feel the release in the glute. 7 more. 1. All right. 4 more. 3. 2. Again, you place the foot next to it. The faces of the plums, and the closer the better, but it shouldn't be more than that. And we turn the foot to the right and left. Just a reminder, the glade is stationary, moving only what's below the glade of the valve, and 2 more. Last time. All right, let's release. We place the ball under the calf. Here we go, here we go. We placed the second leg in support with our hands, lifted the pelvis up, and we roll back and forth along the entire muscle. A little on the inner part, on the outer part. Everything needs to be captured by your movement. Find the most uncomfortable spot for you right now. If you can't find it, place the ball where the game ends. And we leave the ball in that spot, bending and straightening the calf. 2 more. Last time. All right, you need to place the ball in the same spot and turn your foot to the side. And we also bend and straighten the boy stance as well. The foot, we lean inward and keep working. 2 more. Good job, well done. We finished moving on, let's move on to the next one. Let's keep working. We need to take the Z position. To do this, spread your legs wide and tilt your knees to one side. Place the ball under the inner surface of your leg. Next, we begin to move the knee so that the ball slides under our shin. These are the same muscles that we did in self-massage pleasure, only now we do it with the help of a ball. By the way, this way you can easily adjust any exercise to fit you. All right? Next, we place the ball under the ankle bone, which is right here on the foot, and we make circular movements. 2 or 3 circles in one direction, 2 or 3 circles in the other direction. All right? I'm moving the ball under the other leg. I'm not changing the starting position, just the ball. I'm moving it under the outer part of the leg and doing the same movement. I straighten my leg, bend the ball, and roll it along, more or less along the bone. If you want to intensify this movement, meaning apply more pressure, you can place your hand on top, just above it. All right, next, we also place the ball under the ankle, but now on the outer part of the leg, and make circular movements. You can use your hand to help keep the ball from rolling off to the other side. But here, I wouldn't recommend applying pressure with your hand, as the tissue is quite delicate. It might not be very pleasant. All right, now we do the same thing. Look, we just moved our knees to the other side and are now working with the other surface of the legs. We place the ball under the inner surface of the leg and start rolling it back and forth. We're rolling along this bone. Just like we did with our hands, the same thing. 2 more. It's especially important to roll the upper third. All right. We place the ball under the bone that's next to the foot. You'll find it easily. Let's make circular movements. 2 or 3 circles in one direction, 2 or 3 circles in the other. Great. Let's work on the other leg. We move the ball under the outer surface, the second leg, and we start bending and straightening the knee so that the ball works on all the muscles we need. 2 more. And one last time. All right. We place the ball under the bone. Also similarly, it's all the same. And we make trial movements in one direction 2 to 3 times and then in the other direction. All right. Well done. Let's move on. The next starting position is the tabletop. For this, we need to get on our knees. Place the ball under the knee, a little lower than the knee joint, and just stand on top of the ball. So we press the ball against the goal, holding this position. After that, we start working, rolling the ball back and forth along the shin. Pay attention. Those of you who experience foot cramps, is it because you have to maintain that position? Feet, you can use a cushion, not a stand. Place the ball higher, and this way your foot will hang down and be able to relax. Since there's no need for that, we continue working further. So we roll the ball under the shin. And after that, we place the ball under the base of the heel from below, meaning in the spot where your heel is, but on the inner side. And as much as possible, we try to lower the buttocks down. If it hurts you a bit, you can first of all put on something like, well, some thick socks. If it still hurts, place your hand on the floor. If it's okay, lift your whole body and sit your buttocks right on your heel. It creates quite a strong effect. If that's okay, you can also stretch your toes up. This will be the most challenging version to perform. Do it as much as you can. It's not necessary. Let's stay in this position for a few more seconds. Okay? So all the positions where we take pauses last about 20 to 40 seconds. All right. Let's release the leg. We relaxed. You felt how the blood started flowing into that leg, how it became warm and pleasant. Let's switch to the other leg. Let's work on the other side. We start the same way. We place the ball under the knee, a little below the knee joint. And just standing in this position for a bit, we kind of cut off the circulation. We create a sort of sponge effect. When we squeeze the sponge, the liquid comes out, and then when we release the sponge, more fluid will flow in. After that, we start rolling the ankle back and forth. The ball is rolling over the ankle. Pay attention to the ball. The ball is useless there. Roll it out. If you need to lean on the muscles from one side or the other, that will be more effective. Remember, if your foot is cramping, you can place something higher under your foot. All right, we'll leave the ball under the base of the heel, as if in the projection of the heel, with the heel on top. And the easiest option is to place your hands on the floor. For a more challenging option, lower your hips onto your heels. And the most difficult option is if we want to lift all the toes up and pull them towards ourselves. In this position, we'll stay for another 20 seconds. If someone is uncomfortable, we can endure the pain. Remember I mentioned about myofascial release. That pain is not good. Pain receptors block our other receptors that are responsible for sensitivity. All right, let go of your leg, relax it, and lie down on your stomach. Lie down on your stomach. Position the ball so that it's just above the knee joint. So it was a little lower, now it's a little higher. Let's relax. And pay attention to anyone who feels discomfort in their lower back. In this position, you don't have to stay on your elbows. You can lower yourself down and do this exercise. We're lying down, relieving the lower back while we just lie here, after which we'll add bending and straightening at the knee joint. Bend, straighten. Let's do 2 more. One last time. And we keep the leg bent up high. Good. Now imagine that our leg is a windshield wiper, and we're moving the heel in and out. In and out. All right, 2 more. One last time. Great. Let's switch to the other leg. We place the ball under the second knee. Let's lie down. Relax your lower back so that there's no discomfort in your back. Stay in this position for another 20 seconds. Don't hold back, go all the way down, lie down however you feel comfortable. And we start bending and straightening the leg. And 3 more. Try to bring your heel as close to your buttock as possible. One last time. All right. Keep the leg bent and move the heel in and out. In and out. And 2 more. One last time. All right, great. Let go of the knife. We are rising up. Here we can use either a block or some other support. We place the ball on the mat and lie down on our side. And we place the ball above the knee, but on the inner thigh. All right? From this position, we free the leg and move the heel up and down. Heel up and down. And a couple more times. All right. Great. Now keep the leg raised and let's try to straighten and bend the leg. Straighten and bend. And 2 more. The ball will give us the spot where the muscles on the inner thigh start to engage. Great, good. We do the same with the other leg. Sit. We place the ball on the raised surface, on a block or on a book. We put the knife down, a little above the knee, on the inner thigh. The ball has sunk in. And we start moving our heels up and down. Up and down. One more time. You can do this lying down, not standing like I am on your elbow. All right, now we straighten the leg and then we bend it. Forward, backward, forward, backward. 2 more. One last time. Good. You did great. We have completed a routine for massaging the calf muscles. We touched a little on the foot, just a bit on the calf and the lower part of the thigh. Let's do the last exercise. It's not directly related to the feet, but it's very beneficial for your lower back. We need to lie down and place the ball under the sacrum. The sacrum, for those who don't know, is the flat bone between the buttocks. We place the ball right under the sacrum and try to relax. So, relax the muscles in your heels, spread them to the sides, and feel your pelvis resting on the ball. And just like everything around the pelvis, all the muscles, the glutes, and the lower back start to relax. Now imagine that you have a clock where your pelvis is, and you move your pelvis to the 6 o'clock position, then to the 12 o'clock position. So basically, you're filling your pelvis forward and backward while staying on the ball at the sacrum. Let's do 2 more. One last time. All right. Now we rock our pelvis, moving our clock to 3 and 9. So to the right and to the left. To the right, to the left. And one more like that. One last time. All right. Excellent. And now we draw a complete circle. That is, we introduce the pelvis forward, to the right, towards the family. To the left, and back forward. And for 3 circles in each direction, try to stay as relaxed as possible during this exercise. Don't take any specific shape, just feel. We change direction, moving forward and to the left towards ourselves, to the right. And now to the left, and to the right. I ask you to roll the pelvis one last time. All right, let's take the ball out from under the pelvis, place it somewhere nearby, and just relax. Feel how good it is in your body. Lean your knees to the right and to the left. Relax your lower back. Gradually increase the amplitude, roll over your sacrum, feel that roll. Pelvis, sacrum, hip joint, and one more time. All right, stretch your arms and legs out to the sides, just relax. Feel how nice your body is and how much you enjoy being here and completely letting go. For the big toes, we will need a regular hair tie for the exercises. We put it on the toes in such a way that the toes are slightly spread apart. You shouldn't pull it too tight, especially for those who already have significant deprivation. Feet, bone, very large, it will be in principle painful for you to do the exercise. You shouldn't torture yourself. You see the big toe, it should just be standing straight. That will be enough. We do the same exercises with the toes as we already did. We were just focusing on the big toe. Now we are bending all the toes. We were only focusing on the big toe. Now we are bending all the toes. And extend, bend, and extend. And we keep an eye on the big toe to make sure it stays centered. If needed, we adjust the width of the feet. So if the toe is still moving, just spread your feet a little wider. Let's bend and extend again. All right, now let's work separately. Big toe down, 4 up, on the contrary. 4 down, big toe up. Let's keep doing it the same way. If you're having trouble with an exercise like in that lesson where we move the toes separately, you can sit down first and use your hands to help adjust the movement. All right, great. Now we are working with the calf and the toe. We bend the calf, toes towards us. Calf down, toes down. Calf towards you, toes towards you. Calf down, toes down. Let's do it 2 more times. When you practice on your own, you can do more until you get it right. But don't do one exercise for more than 5 minutes. It overloads the energy system, it gets exhausted, and you can't really work anymore. All right, the next task is like this. Calf towards you and toes down. And on the contrary, calf down and toes up. Calf towards you, toes down. Calf down, toes up. Let's do this exercise 2 more times. This exercise is already familiar to you. It turned out to be a wave. And all right, the next thing we do is crawling. For this, we will slightly bend our legs lower, the calves down, and place our toes on the floor, gripping the floor with our toes. So we are kind of pulling the floor towards ourselves and lifting our legs up. Toes up, we lower them down, grip the floor with our toes, and lift them up. Let's do it 2 more times. Down, floor, towards yourself, up. And one last time. All right? You did great. If you manage to do this while sitting, we do the same on the other side. Let's rise up. Let's place our feet. You can set it to the width of the preformed joints here because we have a rubber band. It's not scary. This will be a slight oversight. The knees are slightly bent. We find the triangle, the feet. Part of the weight is under the heel, one part under the big toe, and one part under the little toe. And we will be lifting our toes up one at a time. We lift the big toe separately, and then the other four. The big toe separately and the other four separately. Great. And one more time. Good. And the last thing we'll do is lift the big toe and try to move it to the side and then pull it back. Lift up. Move it to the side, that is inward, and bring it back to the others. 2 more times. Up, to the side, bring it back. And one last time. The rubber band on one hand helps to spread, but it creates a resistance for bringing back together. Good job, you all did great. If you couldn't do an exercise, you help yourself with your hands. Today's session on Wombili is with the calf column. The starting position of the tabletop, when our wrists are positioned under the shoulders, the knees are positioned under the activated joints at the width of the third leg, meaning directly under the activated joints. We place the calf on the floor and push the pelvis back. We lift the pelvis, and now we change the position of the calf, bringing the column and toes towards us and pushing the pelvis up. Again. The calf away from you. The calf towards you. Together with the toes, 2 more times. At the same time, we are also working with the knee and the hip joint. All right? And the next time the calf is on the floor, we'll take a pause. Calf on the floor, pause. And try to lower it completely. Sit back on your heels. If you feel pain in your knee joint, this exercise is not for you. Ignore it, skip it. We can fix the calf in a different way. You shouldn't torture your knee, please. If the calf itself hurts, this part of the lift, that's normal. The main thing is that it shouldn't hurt too much. While sitting, to avoid knocking, we stretch everything up, lower the head to the right, keeping the chin engaged, and then we rotate the head to the other side. One more time. We stretch the side surface, the neck, the head moves, the neck engages. Toes down, chin down to the other side. All right, great. Next, what we do is return to our exercise. Pull the calf towards you. Feel how nice it is to return to a normal foot position now. How the blood went there. And 2 more. And next time, we'll keep our toes pointed towards ourselves. Let's sit back on our heels. And as much as possible, we fully transfer the weight onto the glutes. Again, if your knees hurt, skip this. The price will be quite strong, and now we are creating a sponge effect there. Because we stretched the tissues, the blood and oxygen supply was cut off. It might feel a bit challenging, but if it's hard for you for any reason, you can keep your hands on the floor. If you've risen with me to not waste time, we pull the rib cage to the side of the lock, stretch the rib cage forward, the lock back, and open up the rib cage. This exercise is great for relieving tension. We stretch the chest muscles, and then on the contrary, we keep the glutes on the heels. This is the most important food. Having survived ahead of the party Listina and the lips of the gravy, the spine back was cut off to success. Relieve the tension. All right. Place your hands on the mat. Feel how nice it is for your feet now, how warm they've become, and you didn't even have to take off your socks. Good. And the next starting position is lying on your back like a monkey. Bring your hands closer to the audience, arms in front of you, rotate the pelvis and stretch the spine along the mat as we lie down. We lie down, bringing our feet closer to ourselves so that the foot is completely on the floor. Your feet are shoulder width apart, as if we have a third leg in the middle. Let's read the result along the mat. We made a shelf with our arms, lower the shoulder blades down, and lengthen the neck. And we do an exercise called the wave. We press the lower back to the floor. We lift the glutes, then we lift the spine vertebra by vertebra all the way up. Let's raise our arms up. And also in reverse order, lift your head up higher, take a breath. And on the exhale, we stretch. Stretch the spine along the mat. Try to work on each vertebra separately. Let's repeat. At the bottom, stretch the spine from the tailbone to the shoulder blade. Inhale, On the exhale, press your lower back down and lift your buttocks. And vertebra by vertebra, we grew taller. Press your head further back into the mat once more. And on the exhale, we stretch the vertebrae as far apart from each other as possible. Great. Next time, we'll pause at the top. We lift the vertebrae up, stop, and we move to the half toes. And we lower the buttocks, staying on the half toes. Vertebra by vertebra, each one further than the last. We come up onto our heels, rising up, back to the half toes. We stretch out the vertebrae of the lower back. We came up onto our heels, we rise up. Great. Who finds it difficult to do this variation of the exercise? You can place your pelvis on the floor, just separately come up onto your heels and then to the half toes. One last time. Up. And we lower down. Fine. Let's rest. Which is aimed at developing the arch of the foot. You can kneel, and we will have one working leg for now, and try to bring the base of the toe closer to the spicy. It's like we're shortening the foot by lifting it up. It's like we're making our foot one size smaller. If you didn't succeed, you can help yourself with your hands. Sit down on the leg, fix your heels, try not to tense your toes, and try to do the same. At first it will be like this. Try to twist your fingers. Here they are not due to movement. Here the fingers will resort. Good. Excellent. Then we do the opposite, keeping the base of the toes on the floor while bringing the heel forward. We're also shortening the foot. But now from the other side, keep the base of the toe in place and shift it forward and backward, forward and backward. The movement, again, is not that big and noticeable. First, achieve some kind of movement. And then gradually, with practice, you'll be able to increase the range of motion. If you didn't succeed, keep one hand and the base of the toes fixed and try to push upward. Turn around. All right. Also, let's do the other leg, then we'll move on to something more complex. It's easier not to do it. The other leg is in front of you. First, try to do it without using your hands, bringing the base of the toes closer. So we shorten the foot and then release it, shorten the foot and release. At the same time, you see my arch is rising. It has shortened here. Let's release it one more time. It's good. If not, we fix it again in the same way. This way, we directly help ourselves to personally feel this movement. If it still doesn't work at all, try to find it first. In the end, we'll do a technique that will help you feel this movement and get acquainted with it so you can do it on your own. All right. Now the opposite. We're going to move the heel towards the base of the toe. First, let's try without using our hands. Let's bring the medicine closer. Let's move it back. Let's bring it closer. Let's move it back. A few more times, and we press our fingers into the floor. All right. Also, if it's not working, you can fix one hand at the base of the toe. Try to bring the medicine closer. Let's move it back. Let's bring it closer. Let's move it back. A few more times. Let's try using our hands. Sometimes we tense up and sometimes we relax. All right? And for those who didn't succeed still, you're doing this kind of exercise. Stand up so that one leg is in front of you. You lift your knee, and we will try to do the same movement. That is, to lift the arch while breathing with the movement of the knees. We bring the knee forward and to the side, and when your knee goes to the side, the arch should lift. When the knee goes inward, the arch collapses. If you're working, for example, with a child, and you're trying to help them, start with this exercise. You lift his foot with your hand and lower it to the side. A few more times. So this whole part shifts to the side. Here, or right here, it got affected. You lifted it up, stretched it out, felt which muscle you're using, and then you relax. Also, the other leg. Place your foot in front of you. Bend your knee, push the knee forward, and move the knee to the side. We twist here, and then move it to the side. Everything lifts up, and we feel which muscles are working. And we relax the legs. Let's try a few more times. With this exercise, if the previous ones didn't work, it's easier to achieve results and at least learn the initial movement. All right. For those who manage to do everything, we will do it together. The zenith is a bit more complex. Now we're on the working leg. We shift about 30% of our weight and try to do the same, shifting 30% of our weight. On the working leg, we bring the toes towards the heel and relax, toes to the heel. Relaxed. Once again, now we switch it up, bringing the heel to the toes, and relax. Heel to the toes, and relax. At the same time, keep about 20-30% of your weight on the front leg. If it feels easy, you can go up to 50. All right, we do the same with the other leg. They can put their legs on, load them in front of them, and so on. And I'm moving to wash the toes, and from love it was possible to take from both. Reduced, so relax, reduced, relax. Last. All right. Now, on the contrary, we brought the heel to the toes, pushed the heel forward, placed it back, pushed it forward, and placed it down. 2 more times. We're contracting the load. All right. Well done. For everyone who couldn't do the movement at all, you start by bending the knee to the side, inward, warming up in a half squat. We will need today's session. Any stick will do. It can be a lumbar roll or a mop handle. The session is focused on this type of arch massage. To start, we'll stand on the stick with the transverse arch of the foot, meaning with the base of the toes, and we'll just move side to side. Pay attention to the stick. You might feel more pain while walking. To reduce them, you can wear warm socks or place something on top of the stick, a thick blanket, a throw, or you can pay. Next, we stand on the middle of the foot arch for 5 seconds. We walked on the front part of the arch, and now we're moving to the middle of the foot. Try to run a bit. In the opposite direction. And the most painful exercise from this series is to stand on the stick with the base of the heel. Remember where we rolled the ball, right under the base of the heel. And we move right and left. If we play, then this is where it starts. This will be the most uncomfortable exercise. So if you feel any pain, please adjust the pressure and place something thick on top of the stick. All right, the next thing we do is move from the stick in a Christmas tree pattern. We spread our feet to the sides, then inward, and we move forward. And also down. All right, the next variation of the exercise is done in a different direction. The poles are going inwards on the right side. And also dip. And one more exercise that is suitable for this work. We place one foot on the stick so that the stick goes through the second toe. And through the heel, we move the other foot next to it. For example, you can walk with the opposite leg and then back with the other one. We place the stick so that it is 5 with the second match and go through. If this is an exercise, it is done by older people. It's better for you to stand next to a wall. This also applies to children, as their balance isn't as well developed. To avoid unpleasant situations, it's better to do it with support or with the help of warm-ups. All right. Next, what we can do is place our foot so that it becomes the middle of the arch of the foot, where the highest point is on the stick. And we roll the stick from right to left. For this, we use our knees. We place our feet comfortably, rolling the foot inwards and outwards. We place the foot under the outer edge of the foot and roll the stick back and forth, forward and backward. And similarly, we move the inner edge of the foot back and forth. All right, just like with the other angle. We place the foot at the highest point on the stick. We roll inwards and outwards. For this, we bring our knees together. We leave the stick under the outer arch of the foot, rolling it forward and outward. This is also quite noticeable. And under the inner arch of the foot, back and forth. All right, well done. going to work on the arch of the foot, doing a free workout. Today we also need to include work with the muscles of the legs and glutes. To start, we will focus our attention on one manual lift. We will find the triangle of the foot, so we create an equal base for the big toe, the little toe, and the heel. We will pull the base of the toes towards the heel so that a small arch is formed. What we did in the previous exercise, and we'll place one foot on the mat. We're doing bends with a hybrid joint. You can use your hands to wash everything and pay close attention to the foot so it doesn't roll in or out. The knee always stays bent. Place the second foot however is comfortable for you. The main thing is to control the movement in the supporting leg. To make sure the little toe is firmly on the floor, the arch of the foot should be nice. Let's do it one more time. And we'll make this exercise a little more challenging. The foot can move around, that's normal, just try to control it. Bend your legs, and we try to balance on one leg, maintaining 3 points of support. The toes are not lifting. Back straight, tummy tucked in. And 2 more times. We keep an eye on the supporting leg, all attention on the leg that is working. We hold the white runner of the foot, trying to keep the leg steady. And one last time. At first, these exercises might seem too difficult, but for those who want to manage it, it's essential to do it right, like how to squat. All right, let's work with the other leg. We place the other leg in front of us. First, we set it up. Shift half of your weight onto it, go over the base, under the big toe, under the little toe, under the heel, and pull the base of the toe to the heel so that a layer of the foot is formed. So we are holding the leg in the correct position with the strength of our muscles, the foot. We move the second leg back and start bending the knees. We make sure that this knee doesn't go forward, especially not to the left, but to the right and left. Coccyx when we keep the crown of our head extended as if the floor isn't tied to us. Stick, back straight. And we add the lift of the field. Fingers, we dip into the floor. Down. We keep the leg, the crown of the head reaches up. We maintain balance. Knee up. 2 more. Down. Knee up, we hold 3 points of support. And one last time, drop out. And lift to the fields. Good job, everyone. The exercise is aimed at ankle mobility. For the exercise, we will need a wall, a cabinet, or any other support that you can stand against and hold on to. We place 1 foot forward. And we need to get into this position so that the knees are bent and we can bring the working leg forward so that the knee is as close to the wall as possible. But the heel stays pressed to the floor. The heel is pressed to the floor. If you're working with kids, pay attention to this moment. So maximum bending with the heel still on the floor. Watch what happens to the arch of the foot. When the knee moves forward, the arch of the foot slightly lowers. When the knee moves back, the arch rises. If you're working with kids, you can actually correct their position with your hands. The position of the arch, so when the knee moves forward, you flatten the foot for them. When the knee goes back, you lift the arch of the foot for them. Let's do it 2 more times. All right, great. Place your knee solo in the hole and push it as far forward as you can, just like this, and hold it in that position. Now we move the knee inwards and outwards. The whole foot is pressed to the floor, the toes, the heel on the ground, and observe the arch of the foot. Again, when the knee moves outward, the arch rises, but the foot stays on the floor. The toes are on the floor. When the arch lowers, the knee moves inward. Let's do 3 more. 2. The foot is on the floor. 1. All right, the next exercise is called the horseshoe. We need to move the knee to the side, forward, inward, back, and then back again. Inward, forward, to the side, back. Try to keep the entire ankle as mobile as possible. Move the knee to the extreme position, especially forward all the way. Let's do 1 more time in each direction. The second leg isn't in the way. It helps with the work, and the knee is relaxed. And the last one. Now let's switch the working leg and do the same thing. On the other side, Place your foot in front of you so that you can bend the knee while leaning against the wall, achieving maximum flexion of the ankle, and then straighten the leg. Bend the knee as far forward as possible. Straighten the leg, making sure the heel stays on the floor. If you suddenly find it hard to control the position, you can place something underneath, like a scarf or a band, and start, like this. When you move the knee forward, if the heel lifts, that band will pop out from under the heel. Let's do 3 more. 2. One last time. All right. Keep the knee in the far forward position. And now we move the knee to the side and inward. When we move the knee to the side, the arch of the foot lifts up. When the knee goes inward, the arch lowers. Let's do 4 more. If you're working with kids, get down and help them move their leg with your hand. So lift and lower the arch. 1 more time. All right. The next exercise is the horseshoe. We move the knee as far as possible to the side, forward, inward, and back. The reverse side, inward, forward, to the side and back. I remind you that with the step up, the foot should stay on the floor. All right? 1 more time on each side. 1 last time. All right. So if you have limitations specifically in the flexion and extension of the ankle joint, this exercise is for you. It fits very well. Do it as often as you can. Today's session is suitable for kids, but adults can also do these exercises. To start, we stand up, place our feet on the width of our hips, engage our joints, find 3 points of support, and try to maintain our foot alignment. And we come up onto the balls of our feet. You can place your hands on your hips or wherever is comfortable for you. And imagine that you're not lifting up off the floor, but rather pushing the floor down. 2 more times. The crown of your head is reaching up, and your belly is pulled in. All right. Stay on the balls of your feet. The next exercise is to walk in a circle on the balls of your feet. Notice that the child can walk on the balls of their feet. You can do this in certain circles depending on the time. And the same thing on the heels. Let's walk on our heels. All right. Let's walk on the outer edge of our feet. And be careful. On the inner edge of the foot, only those who don't have knee valgus should walk. Inward and valgus feet. If you have a foot that is generally turned inward, it's not recommended for you to do this exercise. All right. And the last thing we can do, we take a small object. It can be a newspaper, a towel, a small ball, or something similar. And we ask the child to grab it with their fingers and move it to the other side. And back the same way, grabbed it, moved it. Let's do this to the left and to the right with the leg. Turn your activity into a game. Let's give the child a task to keep them cheerful, maybe even compete with them. And 1 last time. All right. The exercise with the left leg is suitable for everyone. Even if you had some difficulties with the previous ones, it doesn't mean you can't start this one. To perform the exercise, we'll place our feet shoulder width apart and shift our weight onto one leg. On the working leg, we find the triangle of the foot, which means the support is on the big toe, the little toe, and the heel. And it's also a good idea to try to pull your feet up, meaning to shorten the foot. After that, if you're able to maintain your balance, imagine that you're rotating around the supporting hip. Please control your pelvis. The pelvis is level. To do this, it is convenient to place the hips on the pelvic bones. These are the pelvic bones. The crown of your head reaches up, and you start rotating to the right and left. Please do this exercise slowly. For some, it might seem easy. For some, it might be a bit challenging to maintain balance with just one leg. Let's do it a few more times. If you want more on an expressive face, you can do more. But it gets even more challenging from here, so please switch to the other leg. You also find the 3 points of support and bend your knee. It hurts, and we check to make sure we're stable. And he fell up and down, forward and backward, his knee attached to the ears and into the loop. And if it works, just keeping balance, we add rotation to the right and left side. This exercise trains the glutes and the thigh muscles. The buttocks and muscles of the brunette muscles of the front of the thigh, usually where you get tired the most, there is your weak link. The most important thing is that when you start to lose your balance, over time, and you lose the ability to keep you, that is, don't fall, don't give up, we'll do it well until the end. If you got these options, relax. I'm showing you more challenging ones. We also shift our weight onto one leg, bending the knee. Here you need to find 3 points of support, lift all your toes off the floor, and keep the crown of your head reaching up while the pelvis remains stable. And we make turns trying to keep our toes. Shin. All right. Let's do 3 more. The crown of your head reaches up, your stomach is pulled in, and keep your pelvis straight. Last time, if we start to fall, we try to catch ourselves, not to fall, and not to lose our focus. Let's do it until the end. The other leg. Place your leg on your neck, shin, get tired, bend your supporting knee. We align the position with the pelvis, lift the toes off the floor, reaching up, and we make rotations. If you can't keep your toes lifted to the sides, you can place your toes on the floor and do it with your fingers down. That's not a mistake. It will still be useful and good. Let's do it 2 more times. Last one. Good job. Everyone, please relax. You can let your legs relax. Like this. Twist your ankles a bit and stretch your calf muscles. And on the palm glass besides that. All right.
Còn nhiều không em? Hỏng phải hết chưa?
Mobility of the ankle as well as the hips and legs is important. You can use blocks during the class, but you can manage without them. You can stand next to a wall, a cabinet, or a chair if you find it hard to maintain your balance. If everything goes well, then there's really no need. To start, we'll place one foot forward so that the heel is slightly further than the knee. In my case, my hands will be on my hips. You can place them on the floor. Our task is to push the pelvis back while keeping the toes on the floor, and then return. We push the pelvis back, keep the back straight, and leave the toes on the floor. So here, there will be a stretch in the back of the thigh at the same time. And here, in this part of the shin foot, 2 more. All right. Let's stay in this position for a moment. The back is straight and elongated. From the heel to the crown, the leg stretches and straightens as much as possible. If it doesn't, that's okay too. The foot can be a bit bent. Great. What we're doing next is bringing it closer to ourselves. I'm going to turn a little so it's better to see. You can see how we lunge forward with the knee, doing 2 bounces. Then we quickly come back. Mobility of the ankle is